Welcome back again to the Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a major evolution for millions of developers. What's new in Spring Boot 4 and Spring Framework 7? All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to kick things off with the big picture, then really dig into the core upgrades. After that, we'll see how it makes life better for us developers, run through a practical migration checklist, and finally, we'll tackle that big question: is it worth it? Let's jump in. So let's start with the why. This isn't just about a few new bells and whistles. What we're seeing here is Spring laying down the foundation for the next generation of application development. And that really brings us to the key question, right? Are we talking about a huge, game-changing leap forward, or is this just another small step on the path? Well, the truth is, it's kind of both, and we're about to break down exactly why. Okay, time to get our hands dirty with the technical stuff. This section is all about those core upgrades. Think of this as the new foundation, the stuff that's going to make our apps solid and ready for whatever comes next. If you had to boil this entire release down to just 3 words, it would be these: modern, modular, and fast. Spring is adapting to how we build software today. For cloud-native architectures, microservices, and serverless. And here's where the rubber really meets the road, the new baselines. Spring now supports up to Java 25, with JDK 17 as the minimum. It's also going all in on Jakarta EE 11 and beefing up support for Kotlin. But maybe most importantly, it's aligning with GraalVM 24 and beyond. That means native images are now a first-class citizen, giving us those super fast, super lightweight executables that are just perfect for the cloud. This slide shows one of the biggest under-the-hood changes. We're moving away from the past, where you'd often get these large, monolithic artifacts. Now it's all about focused modules, so you only pull in exactly what you need. This means a lighter class path, way cleaner dependencies, and ultimately smaller Docker images and faster CI/CD pipelines. So, what's the real-world payoff for all that modularity and the other upgrades? Well, it's right here. We're talking real, tangible performance gains. Thanks to big improvements in ahead-of-time or AOT compilation and that native image support we just mentioned, you're going to see faster builds and a much, much smaller memory footprint at startup. For anyone deploying in containers or serverless environments, this is an absolute game changer. Okay, we've covered the foundation. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. What does this mean for us, the developers writing code every single day? This next part is all about the new tools that are designed to make our lives easier and our code way more robust. First up, a huge win for code quality: first-class null safety. By adopting the JSpecify standard with annotations like @null and @nullable, Spring helps you catch those dreaded null pointer exceptions at compile time, not when your app is crashing in production. It also makes interoperability between Java and Kotlin code a whole lot smoother. Oh, this is fantastic. A lot of those resilience patterns we used to have to pull in external libraries for are now just built in. With a simple annotation like @retryable, you can have your application automatically retry a failed network call. Or you can use @concurrency limit to protect your services from getting overwhelmed. It's just simpler. For anyone working with microservices, you are gonna love this. You can now define a whole REST client just by creating a Java interface and adding the @HTTP service client annotation. This gets rid of so much boiler code and makes talking between services way cleaner and more intuitive. Managing APIs as they evolve over time just got a lot easier. Spring now has built-in support for the most common versioning strategies. Whether you like to do it by the URL path, a custom header, or the media type, it's all supported right out of the box. This makes maintaining backward compatibility so much less of a headache. And finally, observability is now a core feature, not something you have to bolt on later. With an upgrade to Micrometer 2 and default integration with OpenTelemetry, you get a unified view of your metrics, traces, and logs without a ton of extra setup. Plus, the actuator now gives you even better health reports, like warning you about SSL certificates that are about to expire. Super useful. All right, we've seen all the great new features, but how do you actually get there from your existing project? Let's switch gears and talk about the practical side of things, your migration checklist. So, you're ready to make the jump. The big question is, what do you need to watch out for? Because let's be real, a major version bump always comes with a few potential gotchas, and it really pays to be prepared. Here are the critical areas you'll want to check. First, because of that new modular setup, look at your dependencies closely. Next, make sure all your third-party libraries are compatible with Jakarta EE 11. You'll also want to test your JSON handling carefully because of changes in Jackson 3. And be ready to refactor some code to adopt those new null safety annotations. And finally, if something was marked as deprecated in version 3, well, it's probably gone now. And this brings us to our final section, the bottom line. Taking everything into account, is upgrading to Spring Boot 4 actually worth the effort? Let's break down the pros and cons. On the pros side, you're getting a future-proof application with a modern baseline, lighter dependencies, and fantastic native image support. And those built-in observability and resilience features are huge wins. But on the challenges side, the migration does take real effort. You could run into breaking changes from incompatible libraries, and there's a bit of a learning curve for all the new APIs. So the final takeaway is really this question for you. Is your codebase ready for the future of Spring? The benefits are absolutely clear, but getting there is a journey that requires careful planning. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. If this explainer helped you, let us know your key takeaways in the comments. And be sure to subscribe for more insights into the tech that shapes our world.